All right, what's up, everybody? Market Movers here, Monday. It's Wednesday edition here with Justin Perri. Justin, how you doing? You look frozen on the screen, but hopefully you're still there. You there, bud?
I am. How are we doing? Can anyone hear me or see me, or is it just visuals? Let's not mess too much with my internet. We are trying to work with it. I'll bring the Wi-Fi back up because it clearly is better. But I'm doing well on this on this Monday. But no, it's middle of the week, nice little hump day action today. Have a fun day baseball game coming our way. Some fun NBA games tonight. I'm really excited to see if Westbrook and Beal can maybe scare the 76ers. I do have an inkling that we might see, a different result than people are expecting. I thought game one was pretty close in that one. But anyway, I'm having a great day. It's a gorgeous day out. I am looking forward to the Knicks game too. Hopefully we can bounce back. Julius Randle got the most improved player award delivered by his son. So I expect a big game out of him with that emotional weight on him a little bit. So, looking forward to a good one. Hit my Giants bet yesterday. I know you didn't miss either. Yeah,
been a good week so far. Going to try and make it a perfect week. 3-0 on the week. Pretty nice. Have a plus 120, plus 150 winner in there. So 2 more plus money plays for me today that I gave on the early edge. I got some chat in here. I like this one. I think we're working on this. Can we get Justin some better internet service? Yeah, I'd like that. We might start a GoFundMe account this evening at this point.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know, roasting you for the internet.
It's all good. It's all good. I can. I'm literally sitting here like my girlfriend just texted me that I'm frozen, and I'm trying to send the message to her, and the iMessage isn't even going through. If you want to try to understand just where my internet connection is out right now, so I don't really know what we should do. I could maybe just go here. Let's just go with the audio for a hot second. Maybe we can reconnect. My internet provider is the man who lives underneath the building, clearly. Nobody's really giving me good internet. I have a call in to get fiber optics installed, but hopefully it just comes back. It's so bad. But all right. I don't know. What do you think, Mike? Should I just hop off and let you chat for a little bit, or should we see?
You're good. You're good with the, we'll go audio only for now. The audio is working relatively well. So we're good. We can jump through these games. We've got 2 early games today. I have a play on one of them. Some really ugly lineups, which is somewhat to be expected in the day game after a night game situation. But let's start with Orioles Twins. Not a lot of line movement here. Twins open minus 190, currently sitting minus 190, minus 195. In most spots. It's going to be Jorge Lopez versus Michael Pineda. Nelson Cruz back in the lineup. Still watered down lineup for the Twins, but Nelson Cruz back in there. Do you have any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I actually am playing this game with the Twins. I do like them to win this one. This is my only play of – actually, that's not true. I do have another play as well. But this is one of my first plays of the day right now. I'm looking into the pitcher for the Orioles. I'm looking at his expected value, expected velocity, and it just looks awful. People have been hitting him hard for arguably 2 to 3 years now. His fastball has been one of his worst pitches. He's just very able to, leave one right over the plate. And yeah, he's not 1-6 for nothing. 1-5. I don't have the numbers in front of me at this very moment because I'm trying to get this internet thing to work while also chatting. But no, it really does look like the sharp side on this game is the Twins. We've seen a little bit of market movement, I think. And yeah, it opened about 10 cents cheaper. So we have seen a little bit of movement. I don't really know how you back the Orioles today with Jorge Lopez 6.0 ERA. You could go the angle that Pineda's coming back and he might not be sharp, but it really feels like this is an underplay to me too. So I make this game looking like, a 4-run day for the Twins and probably like 1 or 2 runs for the Orioles as they wind the series down.
Yeah, I would say the under is probably the sharpest side of the game so far in the market. That one opened 9.5. It looks like it's going to close at 8.5. You can get 8.5 plus 100 at a few sports books right now. Certainly down to 9, but I think it's going to close right at the 8.5, dropping a full run. As I say that, it just went back up to 8.5 in real time. So never mind. It's going to stay at 8.5. Going to end up dropping. 8.5. It is a full run drop. So there you go. Plus 102 if you like the under 8.5 still on DraftKings. Next game, one that I have a play on again, looking for the White Sox to cash on the run line for 3 consecutive days. This time, minus 1.5 plus 100 against the Cardinals. Little blow to our bet. Tim Anderson not in the lineup for the White Sox. Usually love him at the top of the order to kind of set the tone. However, looking at the Cardinals lineup, it is very weak. I'm going to read you 5 through 9 for the Cardinals today. Edmundo Sosa, Andrew Kisner, Lane Thomas, Max Moroff, and Justin Williams is going to be 5 through 9 in the St. Louis Cardinals lineup today against Carlos Rodon. That is brutal. Brutal. Edmund, Carlson, Goldschmidt, Arenado, decent at the top, but after that, it is absolutely brutal for the St. Louis Cardinals right now. Very clear sharp side in the market on the White Sox. I believe they opened minus 170. They're still sitting minus 200, even with Tim Anderson not in the lineup.
Let's see how this goes. I'm going to try it. I'm going to turn it back on. Things seem to be flowing a little bit better over here, but really quickly for Matt, who just asked, I'm going to be playing the Twins run line. But yeah, I really can't get behind the Cardinals today either. I did think that there was a little bit of value on their opening line. It probably was a little bit, or actually, no, there was value on the opening line for the White Sox. It was a little bit too low. So it's just, you needed to jump on this one fast, especially after yesterday and especially with the lineups that have come out now. I think Chicago completes the sweep and sort of makes a little bit of noise saying, we're legit. We're going to beat this very top-heavy Cardinals team. I mean, you didn't really hear much from Goldie or Arenado in the series. White Sox are rolling, man. I mean, this has got to be a top 5 team in baseball for the rest of the year. Hard to go against them.
Yep. Let's hit the next one. Another afternoon game, Seattle and Oakland. Oakland minus 165. Now, it looks like this game has had maybe 10 cents of movement, minus 175 in a few spots now. Mm-hmm. Had about 10 cents of movement in the favor of the home team, Oakland. The number on the Mariners, I'm wondering if there was actually a pitching change here. Plus 144 to plus 162 is a pretty wild move for only 10 cents on the favorite team. But any interest in this game? Any thoughts? That's interesting.
I don't know. I don't see nearly as drastic of a line shift as one normally sees when a pitcher change happens. You usually see a pretty sharp jump on the movement. It looks like this one actually just got hammered the moment it opened. That's kind of what it's looked like. I'm not really on this one. I feel like I've been burned both days by the A's for whatever reason. The Mariners have won both games on the road to beat their rival, which again doesn't surprise me. Mariners were one of the top road teams to open the year. They still have a away record. Well, actually, it's really crappy now, but it was really good, especially as an away dog. So I don't know. They're one of the better underdog teams, likely because they've been an underdog almost every game this year. I think there's maybe 10 games of their 50-game season that they weren't an underdog for. So, yeah, hard to really trust Vegas on the pricing of this one. I think you're seeing a lot of favoritism in terms of taking the non-name brand team, like going against Seattle, just because of how bad people perceive them to be. But they're still a pro ball club, so I'll let this one pass.
Yep, I think that's a pretty easy pass. We'll stay in the same division. Rangers, Angels. I think this game's kind of interesting. Mostly because I think the pitchers in here have actually been pretty decent so far this season. Let's grab some of the opening and current numbers on the market. Yeah, minus 132 is where the Angels open. They're sitting minus 111. Rangers appear to be a very sharp side here, plus 115, now plus 105. That backs up what I'm showing in my simulations as well. About 60% of the action on the Angels, 60% of the money on the Rangers. Very clear sharp side. There is a little bit of a model edge. Should be about 0.3 of a unit for me on this one. Anything for you?
Yeah, I saw this one early this morning, and I had a feeling, or even late last night around 2 a.m., and I had a feeling that this was going to be moving towards the Rangers. It just really started that way from the get-go. You even had the action app saying 95% predicted movement, 5 cents towards the Rangers, and they're usually right. They've been wrong here and there. This is a pretty interesting one for me. I think you have a very intriguing Texas team that really can show up or sometimes just fall flat. You really never know what you're going to get with these guys. This is only a little 2-game series, so I really do think Texas gives what it can to try to split this rather than get swept. LA's been susceptible, especially, I don't think Ohtani's been the type of guy who hits a bomb every single night. You really sort of hear him having these big nights, and I don't know. I think he might just not be carrying the lineup as much as he usually does tonight after a big night last night. So I think people are also reacting to Dane Dunning versus Griff Canning. And, I don't know if Canning's going to have anywhere near of an easy time as one might expect with the Rangers. As for what Aaron's asking on the screen here, I am probably going to lean to the under. But it's not anything close to a play for me. I think the sharp side is the over. But yeah, I don't know, Mike, anything?
Yeah, basically I have the similar thoughts. When you first look at the game, see the names, it does kind of feel like an over spot. However, both pitchers have been at league average or better. Griff Canning, someone who's, according to the expected data, is someone we should expect to see some real positive regression. 365 actual is worse and meaningfully worse than his 328 expected, which is going to put him around league average. What I would potentially be interested in here if I was going to play the game would maybe be first 5 under 4.5. I would not feel good about taking the under for the full game. I think these bullpens are pretty shaky or can be shaky in the late innings, especially if this game is as competitive as I think it can be. So I am not touching the game. If I had to play the game, you told me I had to play it, I would play first 5 under 4.5.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, it should be a good one. Yeah, I don't really know which way it's going to go, though, and I don't think the market does either. So we'll find out. Next game is Chicago at Pittsburgh here. We've seen some minor buying on the Pittsburgh side. Chicago opened around minus 150. We have minus 135 now. What do you see on this one? I know you liked the Cubs yesterday, and they did pull it out. So
yep. Yeah, I did like the Cubs yesterday. Did not end up having the play on it, but it was one of those teams that got bought back into value range. I think actually we talked about that. All the teams that we were talked about getting bought back into value range, like the Royals and others, we would have had a massive day if we had actually trusted the model on all of those plays, despite the market moving to give us a play. Same thing's happening here again. The Pirates, very clear sharp side in the market. Cubs getting 60% of the action, 60% of the money. Their money line in some spots have just dropped 20 cents. It was minus 150 down to minus 130. Getting a pretty good discount on the Chicago Cubs there. I still only make them minus 127 in the model. So no real value on this game. The value would have been with the Pirates if you could have jumped on it at plus 130 or more at the open. I think we have some pretty major weather concerns in this one. Maybe I'm incorrect. I need to check it again. No, not really. Light rain. I mean, it's going to rain, but I don't really have any thoughts on it. Like I said, that's really too close to the market to really make a play on it for me.
Yep, I think it's a good one to sit and watch. I think my book had like plus 125, 128 when it opened, and I put like $2 on it. But, other than that, it wasn't really worth anything for me. I don't necessarily have this as a play. I can see it going either way. I don't really, again, both these pitchers are hit or miss, no pun intended, but okay. Philadelphia, Miami again. We have Aaron Nola on the mound for the Phillies, and the price reflects that. Do you agree?
Yeah, we don't have a Marlins starter that I know of yet. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. I think Nider was listed. Okay. Yeah. Let me see what William Hill is hanging up here, if they actually have anything listed. Because that'll make a little bit of a difference here for me, but it makes sense. Nola on the mound. Yeah, I'm not playing the game by any means. I think that if you followed me long enough, it's pretty clear that there's a very rare chance I'm playing a game minus 160 or higher in Major League Baseball this year. So,
yeah, and I don't really think that the Phillies lineup right now really gives you the confidence you need to play a run line. Seems like a little counterintuitive there. Yeah, I think this one probably just, this is who knows how this one goes, which is fine, which happens on days like a Wednesday. It happens actually probably every day of the week, but, the middle of the week can be very just hard to figure out because we don't have as much of I wouldn't say data, but, the games aren't as watched, they aren't as important. You have things like travel looming tomorrow being Thursday. You have, teams sort of potentially saying, okay, we've won a couple games of the series. We're going to rest some guys on the third game. This is a lot that happens on days like today, and that's why you've seen underdogs perform decently well during the week. But again, that's also shaded by underdogs just dominating this year so far. I actually haven't checked the underdog report in the last few days. I have been meaning to. It has been feeling like they've been winning still, though. But next game, Toronto Yankees. What do you make there? We've seen a lot of buying on the Toronto side.
Toronto Yankees. Yeah, a ton of buying on the Toronto side again. I think it's one that, it makes sense. This is one we talked about yesterday. There was a ton of buying on the Yankees side. Toronto was the side that became a model play after there was so much movement. We see the reverse on it today. Look, I think that Toronto is a dangerous team. They can definitely put runs up. I think the thing to note here in this spot that is interesting to me is Alek Manoah. We don't have a ton of data here. The weather is the biggest piece. I touched on this on the early edge this morning, but a Yankee Stadium today, as long as they avoid the rain during the actual time of the game, the air density index is 62. Typically this time of year, it's 67, 68 at Yankee Stadium. It's still a positive VMI for both teams, which is a little nuts considering the ballpark and the conditions that Toronto has been playing at home in that series before this against the Boston Red Sox. So wind blowing out 12 miles per hour, 80 degrees, ideal hitting conditions. That's going to make it a high variance situation. I think that is probably why we've seen the price adjust the way it has, just because you're, laying minus 160, minus 170 in such a high variance environment like that when anyone on any team can literally hit the ball out of the park there. So I think that's why you see that. More than anything, but that's just kind of my take on it.
Yep, the money's all over the over tonight. It should be a night where the ball carries really nicely. Probably a great night to go see the game if you're interested in doing so. I'll be on my couch watching the Knicks, but no, it looks like it should be a either way type of thing. Whoever catches a couple balls at the right time with a man or two on base. I mean, that's kind of a little too often what baseball is going to come down to, right? Like who can just get, a little bit of luck. And I'm a big fan of Rob Friedman, Pitching Ninja on Twitter. What he does for the sport has been really cool. The way he's brought recognition to pitching and the precision and the incredible stuff that these guys do throwing that ball. It really gives you an idea of just how tough it is to hit one of these things, and then just how much of like external factors outside of luck can be involved in making something happen, right? So when we talk about the weather, that means that when you get a hard hit ball, when the numbers line up, when your average whatever you want to say, like you hit the ball so little that when you do hit the ball, the external factors are going to mean a lot, right? So tonight that ball is going to leave the park. So when someone does get lucky, it's going to result in more run production than normal. So,
yep. Over. Next one, I think we'll have some thoughts on this one for sure. The Cincinnati Reds on the road against the Washington Nationals. Reds stole one from Max Scherzer last night. Now it's Jeff Hoffman against Joe Ross. Any thoughts here? I think that Cincinnati is the Nationals are the clear sharp side here. Yep. Almost 60% of the action coming in on the Reds, moved 10 cents against them. Yeah.
Man, that was gross last night. That's gross. I didn't really see that coming. I don't think anyone saw the Nationals lineup only producing one run. I don't really get it. They put it together in the last inning too. So it was like a futile little attempt. They had been shut out all game. I think in the ninth, they didn't even come very close. How did they? Yeah, they just got a solo homer from Josh Bell. So again, if maybe Juan Soto had gotten on base, we have a whole different story. But again, that's not what's important. What I thought to be very important was that, the whole lineup was striking out like it was, or wasn't striking out like it was anybody's business, and still couldn't get anything going, right? So that felt a little unlucky to me. Yep. When Trey Turner is putting the ball in play, you expect him to get on base. When, Bell doesn't have a strikeout in the night, you're expecting him to produce more than just the one run. So, they wasted a Scherzer effort. You really can't be mad at him. 2 runs through the game. I think he pitched through the 8th. Just a really, really gross showing from that Washington offense. And I guess you could hand it to Melee. But I don't know. I wasn't really impressed with Washington. I do think they bounce back today and try to sort of take that lost win back from the Reds on a day where maybe you would expect the Reds to have a better chance. Kind of shocked to see the over at 10 after last night, but I don't know. Any take?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the over makes sense if you look at the expected numbers. Hoffman, 353 expected, 450 expected slugging. Ross, even worse on there. I believe Ross is 369 expected slugging, over 510. And then the weather, of course. It's very, very, very similar to Yankee Stadium. Air density index low, 62. Positive VMIs for both teams here. But really the humidity, we're talking 80 degrees and 85% humidity during the middle of the game here. That ball is going to carry as long as the rain doesn't happen. I think the rain is going to arrive late in that game. But if Ross and Hoffman are anywhere as close to what we think they are, I think that the ball carries. My only concern on the over is this Reds lineup looks a lot like the St. Louis Cardinals right now. I'll read you 4 through 8 because the pitcher hits 4 through 8 in the Reds lineup right now. Tyler Naquin, Tyler Stevenson, Tucker Barnhart, Kyle Farmer, and Jonathan India. Jeez. That is not what the Cincinnati Reds signed up for at the start of the season. I can tell you that for sure. So that's drastically different than what we saw from them at the start of the season when they scored a lot of runs at home. It's just a very watered down lineup. So that's my only cause for concern on the over and why Joe Ross might be able to navigate this lineup. But if I had to play, I would lean towards the over. But at the elevated number it's at now, I have no value in the Sims.
Yep. I'm right there with you. I think it's probably one that you sort of just let pass by. The next game on the slate, I think the Lions really kind of just came around for this one. I know I wasn't seeing anything for Cleveland, Detroit this morning. I really haven't spent a lot of time on it. Anything in your simulations that you like?
Look, I mean, I think that this is an incredibly high variance spot because of the teams that are involved. Trying to find Jose Urina's numbers real quick. Yeah, this is the what I wanted to do on this game initially was the over, but the total was simply too high. The market was too sharp on it. Initially when it came out, I would still lean that way. I think that it could get ugly very quickly. Tristan McKenzie is someone I've talked about a lot. He is basically what people talk about and think about in terms of baseball, but on the other side from a hitting standpoint. Everyone's either hitting home runs or striking out, and that's essentially what he does. His strikeout rate is going to be around 13 per 9 innings. The issue is when he's not getting the strikeout, he allows a shitload of home runs. Ideal hitting conditions. Wind blowing out there in Detroit. Another game, very low air density. Another game, 80 plus degrees, higher humidity or middling humidity at this point. But one where the ball should certainly carry. If I had to play it, I would play over. Yeah. I would maybe even consider first 5 over.
Interesting. I was going to ask you if there was going to be a specific way you would play this. I know we are seeing like an over 9 minus 125 juice on this line. Would you prefer to absorb that loss condition and wait for the 9.5, or are you eating the juice if you had to make a choice?
I'm not making any choice right now, obviously, because we see that we're hanging a 9 right now at this point. I'd rather wait it out. If I get stuck playing the 9.5, I get stuck playing the 9.5. But there's no reason to make that investment at this point.
I know the over 4.5 first 5 is also around like minus 120, minus 125. So, but that might be a nicer way to play it because you get you get a win condition at 5. And I think, again, 5 could very easily happen. Like you said, Tristan McKenzie has really been someone that people are picking on. I mean, I'm seeing indicators on the Tigers. I'm seeing money on the Tigers. And I don't think we say that too much around here. So going to be very interesting to see what happens with that one. But we won't dwell on it too long. All right, we had the Rays lose their streak last night to the Royals. We had a couple people in here talking about how they were going to be on the Royals. So congrats, guys. I'm sure that was a fun hit. I wasn't there with you. I didn't have either side of it really, but it was shocking to me. You think the Rays bounce back and Glasnow gets the win today?
Maybe. I think that it's approaching value territory again for the Royals. I'll address this question quickly because I'm from Kansas City originally. Yes, I play tennis pretty much every day. The humble brag, I do have the rooftop tennis court here. It's my favorite perk of living where I do. So I do take advantage of that every day. I played tennis and basketball growing up. Wanted to know, Justin, did you play any sports growing up? I assume you.
I played a lot of sports growing up. I grew up really on the soccer field. Basically, as a kid, that's what I played. As I got a little older, I got into tennis. Played a lot of tennis for most of my high school career. I was I'm 6'3", so I made the varsity team in like 8th grade, and was just hitting. I was great in doubles, so I guess we'll have to play some tennis sometime, Mike. But I got into basketball in college a little bit. Unfortunately, in the meantime, have hurt myself a couple times, tore my ACL. But play recreationally now, and but yeah, very into the athletic side of things. Clearly,
nice. We'll definitely have we'll live stream a tennis match when I get you out here to Nashville.
We'll have to see odds. We'll have to get people betting on it, and we can pay out the winners. That'd be fun.
Definitely. All right, back to the Rays Royals. We've seen some movement on the total. This one has dropped down to 7. Makes a lot of sense. So the reason why I was interested in backing the Royals just a little bit, similar to last night, is just you're giving those pitchers an extreme shift in terms of the environment that they get to pitch in. It is not an offensive ballpark whatsoever. It's a very calm and controlled environment. So that's why you see this number come down to 7. I'm not going to end up with a play on the game at all. I think the market's kind of holding steady there. There's really no indicators on this game either in the market, despite the Rays getting 70%. So not something I'm going to play. I'll probably watch the game. I think it's one of those where the number is high enough that you're not going to hurt yourself if you can consistently sprinkle on the 180 team.
All right, I'm with you. Now I think I'm a little offended here, Rex, for that. I'll take Mike minus 400 comment. I can see what you're saying. And I do think you're going to be on the wrong side, especially at those odds. I don't think we're making it those odds. So, but
yeah, no, I did. I had no idea you'd played tennis before. The fact that you've played tennis before, yeah, I mean it's got to be even money and potentially even plus 150 for me. I didn't know there was the massive height difference. We'll see. I can return serve very well.
Okay.
I'm not sure my serve is going to be terribly challenging for you at that length. So we'll see.
No, I had the length advantage for a long time. I mean, I'm basically the height and weight of Djokovic. Like if people ask like my athletic comparison, that's basically what I get labeled as. And so you might have that nice Czech background too. So we're ready to go. But all right. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on this game. I'm not really playing much. The under 7 looks intriguing, but you know, the Rays might light up Mike Minor. So I'll leave it alone. But all right, we have the Rockies and the Mets. This is a pretty interesting one here. I struggle to find worse offenses in the league playing each other tonight. But you're still seeing the juice on over 6.5. What do you make of the Rockies and the Mets?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of interest in it. I mean, I think that at this point, the Mets lineup is just so weak. I think I would lean under still. It's about where I have it in the Sims, but if I had to play it, like honestly, like if this thing, it's just how bad these offenses are right now. If this thing gets out of hand, it's a 4-2 game.
Right. Yeah. No, it's an absolutely ridiculous. I actually have a play on the under today. The Mets have gone over twice at Citi Field all year. Twice. So I think they've gone under 12 times and pushed the other 2. So, you know, you're looking at a pretty profitable rate. Now, I swear, I feel like an announcer being like, this guy hasn't missed a free throw. And, you know, obviously he's going to clank one off the front iron. But again, the numbers have just been really, really strong. And even if you don't believe in like, oh, well, it's just a trend and trends are going to break, like these offenses are just that terrible. I do think that, I clicked on the wrong game. Trevor Bauer is not pitching for the Rockies. But yeah, Stroman he's been solid. And I don't think that the Rockies are going to pose a threat to him. He's basically going to be battling himself, right? This could be a start where he gets into the 7th or 8th inning if he's effective with his pitch count, if he limits walks. And if both those things happen, there's no way they're getting 7 runs tonight. So you're getting at even money right now. I think it's interesting to see the books trying to get you to bet the under. But I'm with it. I don't see this going to 7. If it does go to 7, I'll probably put another small play on it, though. So look out for that.
Yep. Right there with you. Next one, Braves, Red Sox. I mentioned this one on the early edge as well. Ridiculous hitting conditions, especially for Fenway. Usually we don't have this low of air density at Fenway. It's going to make a difference for sure. We've already seen this game move an entire run, open 9.5, sitting at 10.5. Interestingly, there's still a decent amount of money on the under. The over is still very clearly the sharp side in this one. Ozuna's likely going to miss. I think he broke his finger last night. It was pretty gross. He's listed as questionable, but I don't see any way he plays. So that's a hit to the Braves. Even though they do have the designated hitter in the National League Park, they just lost basically what they gained by losing his bat. So
you know, I think at the end of the day, we always look to these weather factors. You know, I'm a little shocked to see the Red Sox at such a line. I kind of thought they might open a little sharper today. I'm not playing it either side, but I do like the over. I did actually, you know, I was talking in your Discord last night, which is where I sort of babble on to myself about all the things that I'm researching. But no, I saw that over at 10 and it was literally flying. And I said, you have about 45 minutes to get 0-10 before this thing hits 10.5. And I think it lasted 10 minutes. So, you know, I got a little half value on a small bet today. Nothing that I was going to go and post officially. But yeah, I think this is probably going to go over, and I was very happy to get that push condition because I knew we were probably going to see 10.5 or 11. Those numbers are just ridiculous, and Smiley could pretty easily, right? Look at that, 7.71 first inning ERA. Yeah, it could be a great first run in the inning bet. We've seen that be profitable for a long time. We've been talking about it for a while on the show. Would you take a risk like that, Mike?
It just depends on what the price is, but yeah, I mean, I think that there's going to be a run in the first inning. Typically, I mean, we have a lot of people that love the bet no run first inning. I am most definitely on the other side. Let's see, first inning runs.
Yeah, I'm looking it up too. Yeah, I have. Let's see what I got.
Minus 140 on yes.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that seems fair for their first run ERAs, right? I have minus 125 locally. So, hey, pays to be stuck in New York. But no, I think it's definitely an interesting line. You might very well see Smiley give one up. I'd sprinkle.
If you're on William Hill,
look at that line shopping you can do. Minus 145, Aaron says, I literally have 20 cents difference. I'm going to take a small play. Screw it. It's a crazy value.
Yeah, you can there are some fun things you could do too if you get the bet sizing exactly right. So on William Hill, you can bet the exact number of runs in the first inning, whether that be 1, 2, and then 3 or more. 1 run is plus 320. 2 is plus 490, and 3 or more is plus 360.
Yep. So, I think, right, if you really wanted to get into it, you probably want to take that 2 run. 3 probably starts to get a little extreme, right? You need something a little bit higher than just like a small rally. I think 3 starts to get into that point where you're doing like serious damage. The pitcher really can't get it under control. You're probably talking about a leadoff hit in order to really threaten 3 runs. And again, when you talk about leadoff hits, you're talking about a player's raw averages. So there really isn't anything to say that you're looking at that potential starting in the place you want it to more than 30 to 40% of the time. So I'm probably going to, again, sprinkle on that value difference that I see here, especially when all the big books are taking it at a higher price. But we'll find out. I always think comparing values is the best thing a bettor can practice. So
definitely. I was just saying you could literally bet all 3 of 1 run, 2 run, or 3 or more. With proper bet sizing, and that's going to be a better play.
Cool. All right. What else we have left? I think it is a full day. It is a full day.
We'll go through these next ones pretty quickly. Let's hit Dodgers Astros real quick. Trevor Bauer on the mound.
Yeah, Houston looks to have some sharp indicators. I don't really know how I feel about that. They seem to have like every indicator on action. Average AL teams versus the National League has a potential to be solid, right? That's sort of playing on the value you get for being at an American League park as a National League team. But, it's really hard to fade Trevor Bauer. So I won't be doing it.
Yeah. I've said this 3 times now, I think, today. Just this lineup is not it's not a real Dodgers lineup, basically. 5 through 9, because they have to stick the designated hitter out there in the American League Park. Chris Taylor, Albert Pujols, Matt Beattie, Yoshi, and Gavin Lux. Those are your Los Angeles Dodgers. Yeah, in the bottom half of the lineup. And that's kind of why you see a minus 139 number on Trevor Bauer.
Yep.
Yeah, totally no place for me. So
yeah, leave it. I think you leave it alone. I don't even know. Is this a 3-game series? Are they playing again tomorrow? Or it's just a 2-game stop. So again, this is where you see like teams not want to get swept in a 2-game series and really come out trying not to lose 2 games of ground in 2 days to a team that they barely see. Like, this is like an important part of the year where, you want your interleague record to be good. You don't want to lose games to teams that you don't play against a lot because you don't have the opportunity to essentially get them back. And teams do look at season series as a pretty legit thing. So I'm backing the Astros on that line if I have to. I think you get the sense there's a sharp side because there hasn't been massive buying on the Dodgers. And most days, the Dodgers lines get steeper, yes, very steeper. They get steeper and steeper as the day goes on. So to not see them moving means that Houston has some sharp action. But all right, San Diego is playing Milwaukee again. I feel like this has been a 5-game series. I'm not touching it with a 10-foot pole. I learned my lesson in game 1. So.
Yep. Definitely not going to be playing that. Orioles got a run already, says Austin in the chat.
Wow.
Last game, Giants, Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks listed as the sharp side here in the market. They've been plus 115 down to plus 105. I respectfully disagree with the market in this one. I have the Giants on the run line. You can play them minus 115 if you would like to. A lot of this movement happened very early, the second that it opened, essentially, just for what it's worth pointing out. But I played the Giants minus 1.5, plus 140 for a few reasons. I like the park shift for the bats a lot more than I think it hurts Johnny Cueto. Merrill Kelly is what we think he is. Explained this all in the early edge today on Sportsline, but I like it at plus 140. I think the number should be plus 127 to plus 130. When I'm getting 10 to 20 cents on a run line, I absolutely run with it because I love this Giants offense getting a 9th inning team at bat against a terrible bullpen.
Yep. I couldn't agree with you more. I did notice this morning, or again, really early this morning, I'm talking like 2 a.m. when I'm browsing lines because I can't sleep. Arizona was plus 110. And there was about 15 cents of buying around that time. I'm guessing that they just don't trust Cueto to perform as well as people think. Arizona does have the capability to sort of blow up. It's weird. They're just one of these teams that you feel like you see them scoring 8 runs sometimes, and you're just like, who are these people? But they're on a huge skid. They didn't win a single game against Colorado in Colorado. But I feel like that's kind of excusable because the Rockies are like really, really professional Colorado baseball players compared to everybody else. And it literally is like playing in a different planet. So no, I'm really thinking that you have the Diamondbacks looking for a win tonight. So I'm a little worried about it. I don't necessarily agree with you on the play. I guess we'll find out. I think it could be one of those nights where you see them blow up for 11 out of nowhere, but I guess we'll see.
Sure. Yep, we will see. I think that's going to do it for today. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We will be back tomorrow. I believe we have another Sportsline live stream tomorrow night as well. Is that right?
Here we do.
Yep, and, so make sure you guys tune in for all that.
I might have to go literally stream from a different location, but that is something that you sometimes have to do. So I'll be on the phone with my Spectrum Wireless representative in about 20 minutes making a little bit of a fuss. You can believe that. So if anyone works for Spectrum customer service, tell them to take a break.
All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.